Before the advent of smartphones and AI technology, when the BN series was in its prime, I was a young teenager buying his first game from the series. I ended up buying Balnark 4 Red Sun, and as much as I loved that game, I was always a bit upset that my choice made me miss out on Proto Soul. When Balnark 5 was announced, I found out that one of the games was titled Team Protoman, and I knew what choice had to be made. Out of all the games in the series, Balnark 5 Team Protoman is the game that I've spent the most time playing, as it's the only Balnark game I owned after I lost my copy of Balnark 4. I used to play through the game and through the entire Nebula area, and then I would end up starting a brand new game over and over again, because I just loved playing the game that much. Through all the different playthroughs, I learned more and more about the game, and eventually learned how to properly build a chip folder. It was around that time, back in 2007, that I used Proto Soul endlessly, and came up with my new name, ProtoDemn. Like the game before it, Balnark 5 focuses on Lan and Mega Man's fight against the Dark Chip Syndicate Nebula. Alongside this evil organization's return was the Double Soul system, which made its appearance for the second game in a row. Today, we're going to dive into my childhood game, Balnark 5 Team Protoman, and break down each of the Double Souls available in the game. Just like I did with Balnark 4, I'll be making two videos, with the second video focusing on the Team Kernel Double Souls, and which version I think has the better Double Souls. As a quick summary for anyone new to the series or to my videos, in Balnarks 4 and 5, Mega Man gains the ability to use Double Souls, allowing you to take on the appearance and abilities of Navis in the games, similar to his classic counterpart. These Double Souls are activated in battle by sacrificing chips of specific types. The game has 12 Double Souls in total, with 6 of them being given to each version of the game. However, there are 3 changes to this system that are worth mentioning. First, Double Souls had a hard 3-turn limit in Balnark 4, but this can be increased in Balnark 5 by installing Soul Turn +1 programs in your Navi customizer. Second, the damage dealt by charge shots in Balnark 4 was the same no matter what. In Balnark 5, the damage of the charge shots depends on Mega Man's attack stat, so I won't be including their damage in this video. Lastly, Dark Chips are actual chips that can be collected in this game, and you'll be able to sacrifice them after your 4th Liberation mission, allowing you to use Chaos Unison. I won't be going over the Chaos Unisons in this video, since the abilities of regular and Chaos Souls are the same, but I might make a separate video about them in the future. If you enjoyed this video, or find the information here to be helpful, please consider giving the video a like, and subscribe to my channel for more Mega Man Balnark content. Some of the folders I mentioned in this video will be making it into my folder decoder series, and I'll also have the Team Kernel Double Souls video coming soon as well. With that, let's get started with the Double Souls you'll get by joining Team Protoman. The first Double Soul you'll obtain in this game actually comes from a Navi we've seen in the series before. Spoiler alert, that's going to be a common trend in this game. Magnet Soul is obtained after your 2nd Liberation mission, after Magnet Man joins the team alongside Tesla Gauss. Love that they named her Tesla, by the way. Magnet Soul is an Elect Element Soul, which means you need to sacrifice an Elect chip such as Thunderball, and you'll need to watch out for Wood Element attacks. On the bright side, you won't be sliding off the magnet panels in this game while this soul is active. When you're in Magnet Soul, you can press left and B together to magnetize enemies in the same row as Mega Man, trapping them in place for a short time. I'll be honest, I don't really use this ability at all unless I'm hitting the buttons together by mistake. The real strength of Magnet Soul is in its chip charging abilities. Just like Aqua and Metal Souls in Balnark 4, Magnet Soul has the ability to charge chips to deal double damage, this time being Elect chips. This ability works great in this game, as there's actually quite a few good chips that you can use this on. As for Magnet Soul's charge shot, it becomes a magnet bolt that pulls enemies towards you and damages them if they end up directly in front of Mega Man. This charge shot works exactly the same as the magnet bolt battle chips from Balnark 4. The best folder to use with Magnet Soul is a V-code folder that focuses on dealing quadruple damage with Elect chips. This is accomplished by charging the Elect chips for double damage, of course, and unleashing them on opponents who are standing on C panels to double the damage again. This folder needs the C-Seed chip to work, but that chip is actually really easy to get in the post-game. You can also try an L-code folder, which has similar elect chips as the V-code. Keep an eye out for this V-code magnet folder in my next folder decoder episode. The next soul you'll be getting in Team Protoman is Gyro Soul, obtained after your 3rd liberation mission when Gyro Man joins the team with his operator Charlie, although the story of the game prevents Mega Man from using it until after the next liberation. I won't be spoiling the plot here, just in case newcomers to the series are watching this video. This double soul is activated by sacrificing a wind chip such as Air Shot. Fun fact, Gyro Soul is actually the only double soul that Mega Man gets in the Stream anime. It also makes an appearance in the Mega Man EXE movie. When Gyro Soul is up, you'll get access to the Float Shoes and Air Shoes programs, meaning you'll be immune to panel effects, and you'll be able to walk over holes. Gyro Soul also has a way of doubling damage from chips, but it's a bit different than usual. When you use a non-dimming wind chip while Gyro Soul is active, the propeller on Mega Man's back begins to spin. While the propeller spins, the next non-dimming wind or non-element chip gets double damage. If you keep using wind chips, the propeller keeps on spinning, giving double damage to each of those chips after the first one. It's a bit of a setup, but can sometimes have a good payoff, especially if you're using certain chips. That being said, the setup makes it hard to pull this off in PvP matches. As for the charge shot, Gyro Tornado deals damage up to 3 spaces away from Mega Man, dealing 1 to 3 hits depending on how far from the enemy Mega Man is. The real use of this attack is that it removes auras and barriers from enemies, making this charge shot a great one to use in PvP matches. Gyro Soul can work decently in fights where your panels will become broken, like the fight against the final boss Nebula Grey. The folder I use most often with Gyro Soul is a Decode Tornado folder, as you can deal quadruple damage again by comboing the damage buff from your spinning propeller with a damage multiplier when using Tornado over a C panel. These things are really convenient. The free double damage from the propeller spin also means that the silver bullet combo is back in action, albeit with some more setup than was needed with Metal Soul. Still, Gyro Soul is a pretty decent soul that has uses in both casual and PvP play. The 3rd double soul you get in the game is Napalm Soul, obtained after your 4th liberation mission when Napalm Man joins the team with Firefox. Hold on a second, wasn't Napalm Man a World 3 Navi in Battle Arc 2? I mean, I know he was in the post-game, but I feel like Lan and Mega Man should recognize him. Oh well. Napalm Soul is activated by sacrificing a fire-type chip such as Fire Hit. Because of its fire typing, Napalm Soul will take double damage from Aqua element attacks. Your HP will also be drained if you stand on a C panel with Napalm Soul active. Here's a hint. Try throwing a C-Seed on Napalm Man's area to see what happens. When active, Napalm Soul gives all non-dimming fire element chips an automatic attack plus 40. You can also charge your fire chips to do an attack that deals double the chip's damage. Big surprise there, right? Well, actually yes, because this time, the chip charge actually makes Mega Man fire a Napalm Bomb 4 squares ahead instead of using the chip as normal. This Napalm Bomb explodes in a 3x3 area around the panel hit, but the bomb travels pretty slowly. Napalm Soul's last damage buffing ability depends on lava panels. When stepping on these panels, Mega Man will absorb them to give his next chip attack plus 10. This can work pretty well with the Lava Seed chip, although its chip codes are pretty mediocre. The charge shot on Napalm Soul is a Fire Vulcan, dealing 3 hits for fire damage and hitting the panel behind the target as well. Napalm Soul is nearly the soul I use the least in the game, but there's one other that I use less. I personally never really loved using it, although I can't say that I haven't used it at all. Since I've barely used Napalm Soul, I had to do some folder designing for this section of the video and came up with 2 ideas. The first is an F-code folder using Metagel to steal area, making it easier to use fire chips such as Hot Body 1 and Fire Hit 3. The second folder is a P-code folder, trying to use Lava Seed P to set up lava panels and give the Drill Arm 3 chip a damage buff. I'll have to actually make these folders and try them out in the future to see if they are actually good, but they are options. You could also try to buff up Super Vulcan or the Vulcan chip program advances with lava panels, but Lava Seed's codes are just so damn awkward. Oh well, at least Napalm Soul isn't the worst one in the game. Alright, let's be honest here. We already know exactly where this is going. Search Soul, 5th Liberation, Searchman and Rika join the team, bullshit overpowered chip shuffling. Sounds about right. Except, this isn't actually the case. Well, it is the case, but I'm kind of omitting some information, which is that Search Soul no longer activates by using invisibility chips. Now, it's activated with cursor type chips like Mark Cannon or Magnum. I can't really tell if that's a nerf or a buff, honestly. Although you don't need to sacrifice a good defensive chip anymore, you do need to put chips that may not work well in your folder outside of using them as Search Soul sacrifices. Other than its new sacrifice requirement, Search Soul is exactly the same as it was back in Red Sun. You remove invis status from enemies upon activation, and you get to shuffle your chips 3 times in your custom window, allowing you to look through most of your folder rather than being stuck with just the 5 to 8 chips at the top of the deck. This means that Search Soul will play exactly the same way as it did in Red Sun, allowing you to pick chips you want to keep and shuffle the rest to look for combo pieces or program advanced components. The charge shot is also the same, firing the scope gun at an enemy, hitting them through invis status for a total of 5 hits no matter where they are on the field. Because Search Soul hasn't really been nerfed in any significant way, it's still just as strong as it was back in Balnark 4. It may be a bit harder to do, but I still highly recommend using Search Soul in as many folders as possible, just because the chip shuffle ability is that helpful. If anything, I'd even say that Search Soul got an indirect buff with the addition of the Soul Turn +1 programs, giving you extra turns that you can use your chip shuffle in, plus the addition of Chaos Search Unison, giving you yet another chip shuffle turn. If you want to try a specific folder, you can always go with the Sanctuary and Holy Dream combo, which I've used in both Balnark 4 and 5 for fast S ranks on Navis. And here it is, the moment I've been dreading ever since I came up with the idea of making these double soul analysis videos. Unfortunately, we asked Mom for Roll Soul, and she told us that we already have Roll Soul at home. If the sarcasm isn't enough of a giveaway, I actively despise Medisoul. But I'll try my best to remain objective here, and just give the facts. Try being the keyword. Anyways, Medisoul is obtained after the 6th Liberation mission, where Medi and her operator Jasmine join the fray. Medisoul is activated by sacrificing any recovery type chip. Medisoul's abilities are interesting, to say the least. Unfortunately, her charge shot is significantly worse than Roll Soul's, as it just throws a capsule 3 squares ahead, then explodes after a delay, hitting the panels above and below the capsule. Medisoul also doesn't have a guaranteed healing effect the way Roll Soul did, with Medi's healing being tied into her soul's gimmick, mechanic. When you're in Medisoul, your custom window will contain 2 capsules, which you can add to a battle chip in order to give that chip a secondary effect. The capsules come in 5 different colors. White capsule is the best one in my opinion, making the chip it's attached to paralyze the opponent, which is especially good on chips that cause flinching. The yellow capsule causes enemies to become confused, black capsules cause blindness, purple capsules cause an HP bug in net battles only for some reason, and lastly, the pink capsule gives the same HP recovery effect that Roll Soul had. Basically, Medi has the potential to be a good soul, but it's completely dependent on luck. You may have a folder that the white capsule will work perfectly in, but end up getting worthless purple capsules that don't even have an effect in casual play. And yeah, you can still get the purple capsules even if you're not in a PvP match. Overall, this makes Medisoul the worst one for both versions, and honestly one that I don't even recommend using. The last double soul you get comes from your team's leader, and in this version, that leader is of course Protoman. Although you fight alongside Protoman from the beginning of the game, his soul isn't obtained until slightly after the 6th Liberation, and of course requires any sword chip to activate. If you've already seen my Blue Moon double soul video, you should know exactly where this is going. Proto Soul works exactly the same in this game as you did back in Balnark 4, with just one minor adjustment. In Balnark 4, when hitting opponents with sword attacks, your opponents wouldn't flinch, allowing you to follow up on your attacks quickly. That was removed in Battle.Arc 5, and your sword attacks do cause flinching now. Otherwise, Proto Soul is an exact copy of its Battle.Arc 4 incarnation. You can put up a reflect shield by pressing back and B together, damaging enemies in your row if the shield is attacked, and you can charge your sword chips to make them deal double damage and make Mega Man step 2 spaces forward before attacking. This is extremely helpful, as sword chips generally deal good damage already, but they are limited by their range. This is exceptionally good with the Moonblade chips, since that chip hits all panels around Mega Man. If you use the chip charge to move into your opponent's center panel, you're hitting them no matter where they are. It shouldn't come as a surprise that I've used Proto Soul a lot in this game, which has led me to design several folders that it can be used in. The most obvious choice is an S-Code folder, since it has Area Grab, the Life Sword Program Advance, and Katana 1 as options. The other great codes with tons of sword chips include the C, E, L, V, and Z codes, of which I have personally used L and V code folders with Proto Soul, usually alongside Magnet Soul, since L and V also have great elect chips. L and V codes also both contain Moonblade chips, so it's no surprise that I've used them before. My opinion may be biased here, but Proto Soul is definitely one worth using, especially in casual play. The damage output can be pretty high, and mobility with the step sword on chips just feels so damn good. And that's it for the Double Souls in Battle.Arc 5 Team Protoman. I hope that I've made it obvious in this video that I have a close attachment to this game and to the Double Souls available in it, with one notable exception. I can honestly remember using each of these souls at some point in my life and genuinely enjoying doing so, and it's been fun to record some footage for each of them. And I certainly look forward to when I reach Battle.Arc 5 and my full playthrough of the Battle.Arc series over on my Twitch channel, linked in the description below. Keep in mind that I do plan on making a video for the Team Colonel Double Souls next, in which I'll be comparing the souls in the two games to each other and determining which of the games has a better Double Souls. I think for the sake of simplicity, I'll be discussing the souls more from a casual standpoint this time, rather than both casually and competitively, as I don't actually know that much about competitive Battle.Arc 5. If you enjoyed this video and found the information included in it to be helpful, please be sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I'm still trying to build up my YouTube channel as well as my Twitch stream, and I greatly appreciate all the support I've been getting on both platforms since I began this content creation venture earlier this year. With that, I hope you'll all have a great time playing through Battle.Arc 5 Team Protoman on the Legacy Collection, and as always, thanks for watching.